Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this video is going to serve as two things. It's going to serve as a thank you, and then it's going to serve as an opinion piece. So let's start with the thank you. I just want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my video. I want to thank everyone who has ever watched any of my videos, even if they haven't subscribed, even if they hate what I am doing and hate me. I don't care. Thank you. I started this channel in 2015. I just wrapped up my 5th year, and we're going into the 6th year, and I just want to say that I appreciate all the viewers. Now, as for the opinion piece, I want to talk about the Resident Evil remakes. Both of them, Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 2. Because as much as I really enjoyed Resident Evil 2, and I enjoyed the experience of Resident Evil 3, the remake, of course, despite its shortcomings, there are two major shortcomings that I feel need to be addressed, one from each game. Firstly, Resident Evil 2's major shortcoming. The one thing that it fully dropped the ball on, and that is the A and B scenarios. I seem to recall that being something Capcom said they weren't going to do with Resident Evil 2 Remake, and it really does show that the B scenarios just kind of felt tacked on. To start with, the opening of the B scenario, for some reason that graveyard looks really shitty compared to the rest of the world that you are inhabiting. And B, it's just not well done. I think that was the most disappointing thing for me, was because in the original Resident Evil 2, the A and B scenarios really complemented each other. Claire's B scenario really complemented Leon's A scenario, and vice versa. As much as I know they wanted to show off how cool Mr. X was and the technology they put into him, it kind of stripped away from that complementary situation. You run into the exact same boss fights in the B scenarios as you do in the A scenarios. It really just didn't add up the way it should have, and it felt like it was really lacking to me. But again, Resident Evil 2 Remake is phenomenal. I love that experience overall. I think what they did was fantastic. And with Resident Evil 3, I want to address the fact that, as short as it was, and that is a major shortcoming, the other major shortcoming was that Resident Evil 3, the original, had choices. It was one of the coolest elements of that game was that when Nemesis would pop up, there were times where you could fight him or run. You could make different decisions, and they would actually create branching paths in the game. Not fighting him might mean you might not get certain upgrades, certain things, certain, necessary items. And by necessary, I mean ammo and health, etc. But by avoiding that, you're also saving those, and that was a really cool element that was in there. But not only that, like I said, branching story elements. Those branching elements are not as intense as you would find in modern games, but it was still really cool that it was there. Because we're talking about ye olde PlayStation 1 days when that stuff wasn't overly common. So stripping that away in the Resident Evil 3 Remake didn't help the overall experience. It definitely made it all feel a bit more like a rush job. And while graphically it was beautiful and the controls were good and, that stuff was good, it was missing a very important mechanic from the original game. As much as I have no qualms with these remakes because I do enjoy getting to go back and replay these experiences, but in a new format almost, I do wish they would give them the full reverence that they deserved. Like, the original Resident Evil 3 was a fairly short game, and they did expand upon elements of it in the remake, but they also skipped out on some really cool elements. And that's true with the Resident Evil 2 remake, so I just hope that in the future, when we go into these remakes, that they give them that proper reverence. Also, if they decide to remake Resident Evil 4, do not fuck with the story at all. Better graphics, better control scheme, that's it. That's all I want. Don't fucking ruin the rest of that game for me. I love that game. I've played it way too many times. Like, I'm not joking when I say I've beaten Resident Evil 4 over a dozen times, maybe 24 at this point. It's a little ridiculous. So we'll get to the end, and as always, I want to thank everybody for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.